Hello everyone, it's Silvana and welcome back to my channel. So today let's talk a little bit about length. Um, it's a part that I really shouldn't be worrying about right now, but it is a part that I am worrying about. So I've never written an actual published novel, obviously. Um, so I Googled, probably not the best idea, but I don't know where else to look for this kind of information of how long an average chapter is. That number came up to somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 words. And then I Googled how long certain books are to try and get an idea of about how long is, well, how really what I wanted to know is how short is too short. So I picked some books that I think of as being light books or thin books. And so um, let's Google some of these and together, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the first one I did was Harry Potter. The Harry Potter book, if I could type, is one of those novels that I can read in about 8 to 10 hours, maybe a little less than 8. If I'm somewhere quiet and uninterrupted, maybe, um, okay, well, there's the movie. All right, so here's how many words. We'll get to pages in a second. I didn't know I could find words, so, oh, it's a whole thing. Okay, so Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is around 70, we'll round this up and say it's 77,000 words. All right, cool. Excellent. And then the book looks to be since it wants to give me the movie first, is 223 pages for the UK edition and 309 words for the US edition. Maybe a little bit more for the later editions, and I don't know if that's because she added something. So, but I'll take that first number and say, we'll round that up and say 225. All right, and that, I mean, it's a good length of a book. It's on the short side, I would say, but it's a good length. So then, no, the rest of the question is fine, how long it is. Let's do Carrie by Stephen King. Another one of those books that is a thin read, but it's published. It is an actual novel. So this says that it's not quite 200 pages. I would count that 200. And I guess, does that count the print for the hardcover or the soft cover, I wonder? Well, that's not what I wanted. Since it said hardcover here, I'm going to guess that 199 pages is hardcover, and so the paperback would be a few more because a hardcover book is shorter and a little thinner than a hardback. So right now, if you've been along with me as I'm writing, you know that green means the chapters are done. I have about a total of 15 chapters, and about 7 of them are zero draft done. I will have to go back and edit these on my own one time. Once the book is all the way done, I'll start at the beginning and edit all the way through to the end, and then I'll start sending it to my betas for them to read. And then I may have, depending on notes from the beta readers, will tell me what I need to add or change or edit for someone else's eyes. And then at that point, I'll give it one last through. I have a friend who is a published author that is what I'm going to classify as last call edit. Have them look at it one time after it's been through a beta reader, well, my beta readers, and then back to me, and then I'll get it published. So where we're at on the statistics right now for 7 chapters finished is about 70 pages. If we're going to continue on the counts we're at, when we're done with all the chapters, that's going to put me at about 150 pages for a paperback. That, I feel, is going to be too short. I don't want to go back and unnecessarily pad if I don't have to. I don't like it when pages do that. Now, I might find some of these chapters run long, into closer to 5,000 or 6,000, instead of most of them are closer to the 3,000. I might find when I get to the editing stage or response from the beta readers that I need to put some more information because it's in my head and I forgot to put it on the page, which is, again, why you send it to other people before you give it to the publishers. But I was just wondering if anybody else that writes has these kind of problems about worrying about length, whether too short or too long. I know, like King, when he was very first writing, has had a few interviews where they're talking about like The Stand and writing it, where they're more The Stand than with it. There was some serious pushback because it was early in his career. He didn't have a lot of books out at that stage, and The Stand was a very, very, very thick, big book. The copy I read is somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,300 pages, although I think the first published copy of it, the edited one, is something in the neighborhood of 850 or so. That's a big, thick novel. And they pushed on that as well. They weren't sure it would go, but they went for a contract, and B, his previous stuff had done well enough that they decided to roll with it and take the chance. And it's a chance, especially for a novelist that has under 10 novels under their belt, to publish something that big by someone that's, I won't say unknown, but they're closer to unknown than known. And then by the time you get to later stuff, like The Last Dark Tower, he's so well known and such a big name that the publisher, I don't think his publisher says jack to him about his length anymore. I mean, who would? There was a thing, I think it was the late 80s or 90s, where people were talking about the man could publish his grocery list and it would sell 1 million copies. And I mean, with the fandom, there's some truth to that. There is absolutely some truth to that he's such a prolific but good writer that people would read pretty much anything he writes. Even the stuff that I don't think is very good is still better than some other authors' best work. And that's saying something for the man's skill. But I get distracted with King, obviously. He's my absolute favorite author. So comment down below, do you get worried about your length? Are you worried that your novel is too short, too long, that the chapters are too short or too long? Let me know. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and do all the do's. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you guys have a great day.